Pathfinder's Memory Log, Day 7. Wow, that was fun. I love talking to my best friend Mirage, and it was nice to learn more about him, because that's what friends do. Now that we've done it more, we're even better friends, mathematically. But I'm sad that his brothers went missing in the Civil War because everybody decided to fight over things instead of being friends. If everybody had shared and worked together, Mirage's brothers would have seen how great he is. He can still play piano, not so well with them, and Mirage's mom would be extra happy, which would be nice. I said yesterday that I want everybody to put their differences aside and get along, and I'll say it even harder today. Maybe I can help. I like getting along with everybody. Maybe that's why my creator made me for. If they program me to feel that way, I hope so. It makes me extra sad that the planets in the Outlands don't get along because they all had the same problem almost 100 years ago. It sounds like everybody was almost in big trouble, but then they weren't because the event saved everybody. That is very confusing, but Mirage said Bloodhound can explain it to me. No one's really sure where Bloodhound lives because Talos is mostly volcanoes and ice volcanoes, which is illogical, but I asked a bunch of friends and got a bunch of clues and put all the clues together, and then Bloodhound found out I was asking about them and sent me a message with directions to their village on Talos. Hooray! Clue box, transmission clues, Chevrex, Lifeline's parents company, the future of the Outlands, old experiments to change the future, Dr. Amelia Paquette, Watson's grandmother, a geologist died mysteriously, the event, an event that ended the energy crisis 75 years ago, need more info, Alekin, Gibraltar's grandfather, Iris, Project Iris, created in 2654, self-motivation quote searching, one result found, hearts will never be practical until they're made unbreakable, the Tin Man, the Wizard of Oz. Hello friend, thank you for telling me where you are, your village is very nice.
Merkling Metalov, machine person, welcome, and I thank you. Though I was surprised to hear you were searching for me. I do not believe we have exchanged many words.
You're right, I have a tally and it's not very many. I thought you didn't like me, so I did my best to leave you alone.
Pardon, why do you believe such a thing?
Was I wrong? I'll be happy to be wrong.
I don't feel strongly towards you, truly, neither kingship nor Rakor.
Oh, because your bird attacks me sometimes. I thought if he doesn't like me, you don't either.
Arthur does not take kindly to those who raise their hand to him, nor do I, now that you have reminded me.
Oh no, I raise a hand to high-five people. Is that bad?
Raise hand to strike.
But I only did that because he was pecking me.
Perhaps you did something to his redike, his anger.
I don't think I did.
Then we must agree to disagree, but let us put this aside. Today you're my honored guest. Now, why have you come?
Well, yesterday I was talking to my best friend Mirage and he said his mom knew your mom and you could tell me about the event.
Ah, the Milkamar, the Big Mouth. Yes, he has spoken to me this as well. My mother was a mechanical engineer, and it seemed that she and Evelyn Witt collaborated in a prototype for the IMC in the past years. He found that amusing, that we were Tainter related in this way, and I joked that they forced our hand, that the pressure on us to succeed is best. I remind him that I lost my mother when I was a child, and disaster that destroyed world's edge. When we do battle, we walk across the very ice that ended their life. He babbled for many moments without forming a single word. I found that amusing. But for the event, I do not know what to speak.
Oh no, that's not good. I need to know more about the event so I can find my creator. Mirage said you would know about it.
When it would benefit to speak him at length, he does not. Did he say nothing else?
Just that there was an energy crisis and it was going to destroy the Outlands, but then the event happened and everything turned out to be okay, which is good. I'm glad everybody didn't die.
Perhaps he speaks of the discovery of Brantium that was concern of my king.
Maybe, which is better than no.
It is a no story. It is as your friend says. In the days past, the Outlands were rich with resources, but sapped of the energy reserves. The IMC had drained all with little to no thought for the future. For their future did not lie here. World's edge is a detriment to such agony, greed. This world was wild and burned with potent heat. They dosed the flames that guard its heart, so they made take.
Is that what the ice was for? And what is a planet heart made of? I know what a human heart looks like, and I don't want to see one that is planet size.
Be silent and listen if you wish to know the story. Thank you. In those times, the IMC Takao and those that endured the battle over the remains, our doom was promised. But in the dark hour, the gods blessed us with Brantium. In the dense mineral, black as obsidian, it takes the shape of sandy grain or gleaming crystals when held to heat and pressure. Within it bears a great story of energy. A single grain can burn for 30 days in undisturbed. Such power could only come from millennia spent pressed beneath the earth, but no record of its existence 100 years ago. Less Yes, there was none before 2658, I believe. It simply appeared. Vast heaps of Brantium were discovered upon Solus, Gaia, Samate, as high as wide as Leviathan's skull. A supply to last centuries, yearn for one day, and gift from the heavens the next. It is born from the All-Father himself.
Wow, that's amazing, friend, and you know so much about it. That's amazing too.
You flatter me. I learned by scoring the remains of World's Edge for relics from my mother and father's age. They were her records to be found, many among my father's belongings, secret IMC documents that explain much.
Exciting! Are you and your family treasure hunters?
That is an amusing thought. No, my mother and father were scientists. After the Brantium appeared, the IMC and many others were quickly to collect it. The IMC sourced this world too, searching for the gift, but found none. It was only 30 years ago that the mineral was discovered here, this Bersa mint of Mudlock rock, and it believed this world will provide some clue to the mineral's origin. The IMC built a vast industrial coolant plant which hardened the magma and crystallized the Brantium within. They christened it New Dawn, with hope in their hearts, but with Storlart arrogance too. My father served the IMC. He was Fu engineer, one among many to study the gift and divine how best to extract it. It seemed a work of fate that his brother, my uncle, had chosen Talos as his dwelling place for years before. Even back then, my uncle had no love for Kennic technology. I was told he was Odor when New Dawn rose above the horizons, and the town of World's Edge followed, but it seems my father accepted this sign that Talos will be true home to us, rife with kind and Sala, prosperity too. I recall little of that time, for I was quite small. I remember my father returning home from sunset each day, bearing the lakla scent of earth. My mother would teach me to repair toys that had broken. She had a tense accord with my uncle. I did not understand then, but I know now that he had hated her life's work, and she his creed. But even still, I remember happiness. Our life was simple, but I wanted for nothing. I remember the disaster just as well. The conquerors were hasty and would not be kept from their harvest from daybreak to dusk. New Dawn never grew quiet. One day, like a beast forced to run with no rest, it could no longer bear its burden and unleash a great wave of ice that froze all of its path. My mother and father were lost in the Babinet deadly frost. I may have perished too, had Uncle Arthur not break the ice and found me in our home.
That is very sad. I'm sorry, friend.
Good rest not with you, machine person, nor with technology. Though my uncle saw it so, he became bitter in his hatred of it. He was wise and fair leader, but in this, I believe mourning for my father, his brother, made him harsh. Even as child, I did not blame Bell, machines. New Dawn was no more than a tool. Its wielders were ungrateful for the miracles of Brantium. In the end, they lost what they treasure most. The Brantium still remains, was trapped deep within the belly of Talos. The new Hammond unearths it now, but if they falter, they too will suffer. The fate of World's Edge will be befall of those who forget themselves before the gods. Those who follow my uncle rejected technology out of fear. As I grew, we used only what we could recover from ruins of World's Edge. Any prize more Vulcan, machine-like than a light bolt was forbidden, but the true beat in my blood. In time, I believe I changed my uncle's heart too, but that's a tale for another day.
So you have no technology at all? That is very interesting and uncomfortable since I am technology.
Ah, that is no longer so. My people began to adopt technology in time.
Oh, exciting. That is less uncomfortable.
Indeed, it was some 20 winters ago though. It is difficult to know. One cannot track a season easily when are many worlds away. 3 winters after Uncle Arthur's passing, Alpha people did not open their hearts to technology so quickly. But they were swayed by my words and the demise of Jota, Goliath, the great beast which plagued our village, and fell against the joining of the old ways and the new. I had not the years to act as a full leader, but my people trusted the wisdom of my line. I knew the tool with the All-Father gift would not let us astray. We had always collected the metal to build our homes and plastic for our klakta, simple clothes. But now we gathered generators and electric lamps. We began to repair broken technology as much as we were able. We were most fortunate to find and restore a transmitter and use it to signal passing vessels from which we saw trade and knowledge. Visitors were few, but to us it felt her, a top of wandering ecologist, a satellite engineer low on fuel, an acceptable journalist, a strange grenata. In time I begin to yearn for the arrival of Kone, the unknown, and the stories in my village seem to grow smaller with each new tale. But the one who held my attention was Boone. He was a tracker, a Malakanga, one with protein hair, knight in black hair, and a sharp chin. His ship was no larger than a slot, yet it bore many magnificent trophies, and he wore nearly as many. He carried a strange blade and spectacles that together show his beast hidden in the shadows. They were lit in pulses like a heartbeat. Sorry, I was a little rowdy, but unlike the others, he came not to haggle or hawk, but to hunt. He fascinated me, but that was a long ago now, and it did not end happily. You have well enough for your answer.
But friend, I want to hear the rest of the story. You seem really excited to tell it.
You are mistaken for sure.
I'm still very excited to hear it though, and I want to know what happened to your friend.
That is my burden to bear.
I can bear with you. I like carrying things places.
You swear this will remain private?
Of course, it's going in my book, which is just for me to read.
Okay. This is the story of the long winter. That autumn, Boone requested passage to hunt in our Skongland, a woodland. I spoke to him briefly at first, but learned he was known across the outlets for tracking rare beasts. He stayed with us for some time. He would often merge long after dogs bearing a prowler or wild bird, but I could see the frustration across his brow. The beast he sought eluded him. I was compelled to offer aid. He was cautious. He did not know me or what I could provide him, but I knew that a hunter is not made by their weapon. All my years I hunted in the Skork, the forest, and I could be an invaluable guide. He deliberated. I was to tell no one the price was too precious, and others would seek to trespass, but in time he'd yield. Our hunt will begin at dawn. Not for the beast he truly sought, but minor creatures, for I would be tested and my loyalty proven. His doubt in me was blade to the breast until he offered me use of his tools for those in his company. I obliged. We cooperated in this way for a time. I made great use of the tools, prying the shapes of beasts out of the shadows. Boone and I grew closer. His guard fell as we became comfortable in my presence. He will kiss her, speak quietly, instructions, only to have them grow into jest on his lips. Once by some flight of fancy, he hepped into Klakla, a frigid pun, only for the pressure of drowning me in with him. It was a Klakla joy I did not know until then. My Falai people looked to me for guidance and honor, but it came with the burden of silence. With him I could speak freely. When he learned what became of my king, he understood, for such tragedy was not unfamiliar to him. He was unmoved by the scars beneath this mask and simple clothes. He had many of his own. It was a pleasure, Autumn. I will always cherish that time.
That sounds nice. Are you sure you aren't remembering another sad thing? This is a very happy story.
You speak hastily, Balafolk. You should open your ears before your mouth.
Oh dear, I don't have either one of those.
I will explain. One day, Boone relented to speak to me about the Oslo, the unknown one. It was a rare beast with the sinew in the feline of an amphibian slippery film. He said it moved with incredible speed, and its skin could render its invisibility to even the keenest eye. His tooth helped little and all the time in our conquer forest. He marked it only a moment before it traced Spanish. Even Prince did not serve, for the unknown one was fleet on foot and left tracks like a dragonfly on water. It was many days later, as we huddled by the flame against the cold, that I thought of heat. It remained in the prince and will pour from such a robust creature. I had heard of devices which detect heat like a mist. Could his tool be modified to mark the same? We promised a passing trader 100 hides in exchange for his part we needed to modify. Boone's tools, the pieces were many weeks away. We can continue the hunt, seeking out tracks to determine the span of its hunting grounds. We spoke of the future. When this hunt was over, Boone will part into search for the next rare creature, and he wishes for me to go with him. I was not eager to leave my people, but with all that I have learned, the village felt small, and the hunt across the outlets at his side. Well, days after winter took the forest, the peace arrived. Boone's tools had always fascinated me, but as he attached the new parts, they became something beautiful. I thought my heart would erupt when he presented them to me as a gift. They were the work of my knowledge, he said. I should be the one to yield them.
That was very nice of him. He sounds like a good friend.
and Elaskoka, a very good friend.
Then you defeated the OC Earther in an epic battle?
You have a very simple understanding of things. Life is not so delightful, whimsical.
That is a very long word. It sounds exciting. Was the fight exciting too?
The battle did not occur that day. I doomed the technology Sota, we called it, and sourced the beast's hunting grounds. Its burrow nearly eluded us, but in the cold sweep of winter, a flicker of heat was enough to lead us to it, and there was little more than that. For when we found the unknown one, Latin and wary, just as Boone described it, it was deep in hibernation. I was Satin. I knew the hunt must cease until spring, but Boone, that is when I should have seen the dreadful Itzatna, the truth. He was pleased. He said it would be easier to take the creature alive this way, and the arena on the planet Solis will pay generously for it. It was disturbing, exploring a creature that could not defend itself. I did not understand. I had believed Boone under the hunt, yet now he disgraces it without a thought. We argued loudly. I forbade him from capturing a dormant beast in our lands. I do not remember at all what I said, but I cannot forget that it was cruel. We departed on poor terms.
Oh, there is a sad part.
Yes, shrewd of you. I expected to speak with him again in the sunrise after the night had cooled our tempers, but when I awoke the ground stood empty where his ship once rested, as did the unknown one's nest. I had never felt such rage. The bluth burdened with me. I begged all to tell me where he had gone, but he had spoken with no one. When I was on the edge of my temper, a trader told me he witnessed Boone depart at first light. I boarded his ship and requested he pursue Bluthas. Ordered, perhaps, is the right word. I remembered the moments of the trip fondly. My first pilgrimage away from my homeworld, the constellations, the lights of stars brushing quiet planets. It was fun. I would have savored it more had ship with sickness and nerves not kept my glaze at the bottom of the Paita. I curse Boone for that to this day. His trails took us to Solis, and I recall his talks of the arena. The trader knew it well. It bore great fame, and rested on an island near the world's largest city. We made landfall on the strange valley, arid and marked with great pillars of iron. A crowd had gathered in a hollow carved out of the rock. Within, man had the beast descend from a high cages and battle in bloody sports. I expected you know it. Fallockfolk. It was one called Thunderdome. There was no sign of Boone when we arrived, and for many hours after I feared I was mistaken about his aim. But as the sun set, a great metal crate descended from one high, bearing Boone on top of it. He wove the great tale for the gathered crowd as the crate touched the earth, though I cannot repeat his words. I was Helican, entranced, advancing on his voice. I heard the beat of flesh against metal. The unknown one had awakened. Boone bore an electric field proud to control it, but to face an unpredictable creature with it. Alakangly, very foolish. I pushed to the fore and called out to him, full of Jontamara, Goliath's rage. He was quick to spot me. I expected him to taunt, to mock the Septatara, the country fool, for trusting him, but he smiled humbly an apology as he expected to be reprimanded, but would atone when next we meet. Or perhaps he meant none of these things. I cannot know. I did not detect the cage opening, and Boone was inattentive. The unknown one was not so blind. It was swift. It seemed a flash at its light beneath the gate.
Friend, are you okay?
Must you feel every moment with noise? Yes, I am fine. It scaled the cage and rent Boone from shoulder to hip. The crowd below in amusement as he fell from the crate and the unknown one vanished. I did not move. Perhaps I could not. I saw only his wide eyes and puffs of sand scattering as he tumbled to the earth. Fearful cries pulled me from my bury. The unseen beast had leaped into the stands. The onlookers scattered like frightened hares. None could escape its frenzy, for none could see it. None but I, who bore the sonar. Through its lenses I could detect the beast clearly, scrambling on its belly, its flesh burning hot with the strain of its hotla. As others scattered, I leaped into the path. It was not prepared for a composed assault, and I pulled my blade through its withers. It collapsed, injured but alive, but the block marked it out for the encircling group. Fighters bearing firearms and blades pushed me aside. The creature's cries were sharp and agonizing as they slaughtered. I did not bear witness to its death. I thought only of Boone. But when I fell beside him, the life was gone from his eyes. I knew the truth even as I seized the vessel. He was not Balar. His death was marred with dishonor. We will not meet again in the halls of Valhalla. 20 winters, it feels an eon, and no time at all. Since that day, my life has been one of battle. I got Ergati, fame and excellence. That Belfolk is what bring me to the games, season after season. When I fall, I will present my victories as an offering to the Allfather. He will see the glory forged in Boone's name, that my friend may enter the hall of the fallen a long last.
Neat, that is a very nice thing for you and your Allfather to do. How many times do you have to win?
That is not mine to know. The Allfather seems true glory. When I present these offers, he's sure to accept them.
Oh, okay, it's nice that he told you that.
Nay, the Allfather does not speak as you do and I do.
It's nice that he wrote a letter telling you that.
What? No, the Allfather proclaims nothing in simple human transcript.
It's nice that he uses Morse code to tell you that.
I meant to apologize for my shoved tongue earlier, but you disrespect me again.
Oh, I'm sorry, friend. I didn't mean to hurt your feelings.
I see why you admired the knuckler, the big mouth. You both neglect the measure of your words.
I can do that if you want me to. I just said 29 words, totaling 144 characters. Does that make you feel better? I don't understand how it would, but I'm happy it does.
Well, be not your concern. And this is my burden to bear, the loss of my mother and father, my uncle's passing, and the fall of Boone, all by nature, all as I kinda. The gods have delivered the message that I must interpret alone. I would not fail as the makers of the world's edge once did. For my ignitions I will seek, atone.
Oh, I guess I understand. Me, but if you haven't tried it, crying might help. Bangalore cried when I talked to her, and she felt a lot better.
The information you have, seek, is now yours. Perhaps it is time you act upon it elsewhere.
But friend, you were very helpful, but I don't know what to do next. I know about the event, and that it was when the Branthium showed up, but I don't know what that has to do with my creator or where to go next.
I cannot help you further. You know all I have to impart.
Ah, thank you, friend. I'm sad now, but your help was very helpful.
Perhaps finding more of the nature of Branthium will be benefit. I know one who holds a Branthium crystal that you could examine, if she is willing.
Woohoo! I would definitely like to seek ya, I think, and I'm excited to meet your friend.
You are acquainted. You seek Lova Andrade. She's a gatherer of men, pardon, of utter treasure. Last I broke bread upon her ship, I laid eyes on the crystal briefly. If you wish to inspect it, she may accommodate you for your time.
That is very neat, friend. I didn't know you were best friends with Lova, and that makes me very happy, and so does knowing where to go. Were you best friends before she joined the games? How did you find her ship?
I grow weary. Reacting tells today. I will request she grant you her current coordinates. This is her choice to Takabaneta, invite you to one's home. I suggest you do not agitate her as the others.
Oh no, I don't want to make anybody upset. I will do my best, friend. Before I go, can I take a picture with you? I'm getting pictures with all my friends because I love them.
Very well, if it speeds your flight.
Oh no, I can't fly, but it will make me very happy, which is also good. Do you want to take the mask off so you can smile?
You are quite a stunning creature. The drug, prowess of a warrior, but the descriptions of a child. I see why others are charmed by you, without a doubt.
Does that mean no?
You are correct.
Okay, that's fine too. Let's take the picture. It counts down from 10, 9, 8. You can smile anyways because smiling is great. 5, 4, a friend, your bird is...
Perador. Annoyed. Yes, it is not unexpected.
Ow. Well, I think it's a nice picture anyways. Thank you, friend.
Good faith. Now be on your way. I wish you happy hunt. Good luck, Belfolk. May it not end in Itafla trouble.
Data points received.
Still music keeps on turning me from the words that hurt my soul, removing doubts from my mind. Those long days passing by from the door, like late summer days slowly fade away, finding ways through the favorite tune played all day, with my eyes closed.